be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, good evening. My name's Harry Tambuatco and welcome to our show. And yes, as we go along in this program, the opinions or our views do not reflect those of the station. Now, this is going to be one of those shows wherein our co-host, Dr. John Tiope, and myself are going to do straight editorial, meaning our opinions, not necessarily those of the station or anyone else. Now, if you wish to switch channel, it's best to do it now. If you want to stand the aggravation, please stay there. We're going to talk about issues that are current. The topic tonight is going to be frustrating the issues simply because, well, they're not exactly current events. It's been written down so many times. It's already in history books. It's already being studied in school. And they remain and stay frustrations. That's exactly the topic. So good evening, stay with us, and we'll go for this editorial. John?
Hello, thank you, Harry. You know, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the issues today, there are so many issues as we assess it. Sometimes you would say frustrating, issues that would really aggravate the Filipino lives. You know, what are the issues that we encountered for these days and in the past weeks? Human rights violations, police, education, even the impeachment still there as an issue. And looking at all those issues, sometimes people, they really like to discuss about these issues. Mga kaibigan, mga kapatid, mga nakikinig natin dyan, lalong-lalo na dito sa iba't ibang panig ng daigdig even sa Vietnam. May nanonood pala sa atin sa Vietnam, Harry, no? Because may nakausap ako na nanonood daw siya sa Vietnam. So, you know, pag tinitingnan natin ang mga nangyayari sa ating lipunan, ang mga paksa at palaging usapin ng politika ay nandiyan. Pero ang mga issue bang ito ay nakakatulong sa paglalagay ng kaunlaran sa kabuhayan ng isang ordinaryong Juan de la Cruz o isang Mang Juan? So, you know, Harry, pag titingnan natin yung mga issues today, ano ba, bukas ano yung meron tayo?
Well, it's now April 29. No, it's April, 30.
30.
Yeah, we're moving on to May 1. I didn't realize. I thought it was only in the Philippines. International Labor Day.
Labor Day, yeah.
So, Labor Day tayo, okay. What is there to celebrate for us in the Philippines for May 1 being Labor Day? Ikaw, what comes to mind?
You know, when you go to Labor Day, usually the main thing that would go to the mind of every Filipino is that this is the day that we have to have a peace of Filipinos that are laborers, workers. Kumbaga ito yung araw na kung saan dapat ipagdiwang natin ang sandigan ng ating ekonomiya.
Celebrate natin yung mga labor.
In labor, kumbaga ang sinasabi ng mga laborers, ito palagi sinasabi ito ng mga union pag walang laborer, walang produksyon. So ang sandigan ng isang matatag na ekonomiya, the foundation of a strong economy is through the laborers.
Well,
sinasabi nila.
I was listening to the radio this morning, and head of the TUCP now, the chairman, overall chairman, is former Senator Herrera. And one of the statistics that got me while I was driving in this morning was 40% of the labor force that is unemployed come from the ages 16 years old to 24 years old. Now, I started thinking, these are the best labor years of any human being. These are the best years, the most productive. And we have 40% of them not out there. Is it because they're not educated? The government has failed to educate our people? Is it the church? Is it poor matching for job opportunities? I mean, are the people stupid, or is it the fault of government?
You know, Harry, the context of a good government or a good economy is through the development of industrialization. So sa punto ng industrialization, yan ang mga katulong sa pag-angat ng mga konsepto ng trabaho ng bawat mamamayan. Ngayon, habang walang naitatag na mga establishment, as long as there's no establishment being established by certain companies o kaya mga individual, sino mag-employ? Ano nangyayari is that
Local employment, meaning local money sourced, local manufacturing, or do we require foreign funding and foreign interest to come into the country?
oh yeah, one thing you mentioned the foreign interest. The problem right now, because of the monopoly and the oligarchs, you have only limited companies.
Yun na nga, that's what I'm saying. With this, having the oligarchs who have been traditionally embedded themselves into the society, having weak government to work for their benefit and their specific interest, then there is no growth on manufacturing. There is nothing to establish. Whose fault is that? Is it, siyempre, kung nasa private sector ka, you're one of these oligarchs.
Yeah.
Why not? If government's going to play ball with you, as far as you're concerned, why not? Let's just enrich ourselves and laugh all the way to the bank. Whose role is it and whose responsibility in the last few decades? It's not just this administration, John. I'm talking about whose fault is it overall that we have come to this situation?
It should be the economic managers, but the problem is that the economic managers' hands are tied. Why? Because there are limitations in terms of constitutional provisions, in terms of foreign investment. If we would only rely on local investment,
That's a good point.
ganun magiging problema natin eh. Umaga, you like to have more companies here. Pag maraming kumpanya, maraming empleyo, maraming employment. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, ang bawat Pilipino nagkakaroon ng pera. Alam mo, sa konsepto ng nasyonalismo, sasabihin nila, uy, magtatrabaho tayo sa mga foreigner na to. Pilipinas ay para sa mga foreigner. Hindi naman ganun ang usapin yan eh. Hindi pa natin kaya sa kasalukuyan. Ang punto rito, let us build our foundation. Wag tayo na naging strong, tsaka natin sipain itong mga kumpanyang ito. Diba? Anong ginawa ng China? Ang ginawa ng China nung in-establish ang komunismo, pinaalis ang mga foreign companies, mga multinational, such as yung mga giant soft drinks companies. When these giant soft drinks companies, even electrical companies get out of China during those times, they do not have the technology. So ano nangyari sa kanila? Naghirap. Diba? So what we need is technology transfer. And also, one thing is economic intelligence. Nung araw, alam ko may ganyang bureau, Economic Intelligence and Investigation Bureau. Wherein, in terms of economic espionage is also important. It's also important. Why? Kasi you need to look at what are the products in other countries that are na pwede nating makuha, na pwedeng dalhin dito. Ay ang problema, we always rely on our local products.
Seeming that there's nothing to celebrate, John, then what is there to celebrate tomorrow? Why even no work? What for? What's there to celebrate?
Holiday, syempre.
So maybe we should just all go to mass and pray that one day our leaders, our managers, our economic managers, the country managers, do something right once and for all for the Filipino people.
Yeah.
But then again, whose fault is it that these managers are now reigning and have the mandate of the people? So I look at it back to the people again.
Yeah.
Kayo nagkamali, then, you make your bed, you lie in it.
Yeah.
I'd like to stress some points now. I got an email. Ladies and gentlemen, alam mo, iba yung nowadays, information transfers so fast. It's interactive, and thanks to the internet, we become a body politic. For those anyway who wish to dabble on more serious stuff, other than trying to win products off TV shows, there are people who are still more intelligent and like to discuss these issues. I'd like to bring this up. Okay. Here's a note, okay. This is from a piece written by Mr. Cesar Gorillo. Incidentally, he's not the founder of the Manila Bulletin. It's Hans Menzi. Okay, I'll bring out some questions he put up. He says, we cannot be a healthy nation because the socioeconomic equality and justice has not seeped down to the middle class and the rest of the 80% of the population. So before I comment, your comment.
Inequality would always remain there as long as there are the problem in terms of injustices and also in terms of so many variables that we have, terrorism, peace and order, and such as this. Now, the system would dictate whether there would be equality. But in the concept of equality, that would go again to a simple direction of an economic system, which is socialism. But when we speak of socialism, so much technical. So we need to look at right now the context on how the demarcation line between the rich and the poor would meet in the middle. And one thing is that we need to look at the investment factor and also the attitude of Filipinos. Kasi ang problema sa mga Pilipino, ang isang Pilipino pag nag-aral, tinuturuan lamang para maging empleyado, maging laborer. Kumbaga, sige anak, magtrabaho ka sa ganito. Pagka-graduate mo, magtatrabaho ka. So, hindi tinuruan sa paaralan na maging entrepreneur, maging negosyante, para balang araw, sila naman ang kapitalista, sila naman ang may-ari ng kumpanya. Ang gusto halata, habang buhay na empleyado. At ito siguro yung nagiging problema natin. So, ang dapat dito is that just makita ang gitna, just to have to meet the demarcation line between the rich and the poor, is that for the poor to strive hard. But how could they strive hard if there is no opportunity? So the system should give them the opportunity. In what way? There should be more investment so that there will be more competition, more opportunities for people to work. Ang problema ngayon, ang hirap ng oportunidad. Kaya nga pati sa media, lahat gusto na mag-artista. Di ba? Yung mga pinipilahan ng mga audition sa mga reality show, kung sino-sino na pumipila, kasi nakikita nila, ito lang akalang oportunidad para mabuhay.
Alam mo, diba? Yung maganda sa'yo dyan very academic ka rin. Economics 101. You know how I broke that down? I'll say the same sentence again. What I did was I broke it down. We cannot be a wealthy nation, he says. Immediately pinutol ko doon, sinagot ko. Yes, comment ko, yes, we can, but we do not have the political will to do so. And then the sentence continues. Because of the socio-economic equality. I cut it again, and then my comment is, tradition can be expelled and used as a study to improve the lot. There is nothing, I believe, that is totally impossible. The status quo will always remain if it is to your interest to keep it the way it is. Nothing is impossible. Proof of that? Well, let's see. The latest issues that came out in the Philippines were the worst country to drive in, di ba? In Bangkok, not more than 4 years, 5 years ago, it was the same gridlock and disposition. They have turned it around. So nothing is impossible. And the last part of that sentence, and justice has not seeped down in the middle class and the rest of the 80% of the population. And this is because, I believe, simple lang one word, judiciary. That's the fault. It's the legals and the judicial system and the inept courts. Now, it goes on. That goes on, and he points out how many? 8 different points of views. And he says, because of that, number 1, increase in the number of poor, which is still counting. Comment, increase in the number of the poor, which is why we cannot grow.
Whether we like it or not, talagang dumadami ang mga mahihirap, specifically when it goes to economics and also the opportunities, as I mentioned.
Alam mo yung bata ako when I was in college, when I was in university, I remember I used to study it because I did take up political science. We had 57 million Filipinos. Yeah. We have 97 today. Ang galing, ano? 40 years. Can you imagine? With the help of the church, we'll be 200 million in what, 10 years? Baka pwede na tayo lumaban as a big country by sheer population, di ba? I don't know.
You know, population is a factor in terms of growth. Why? When you go to the concept of economic supply and demand, in the direction of a sustainable development, population would be a deterrent to economic development. But the problem is this. How could we prevent population growth when in fact there are problems pertaining to morality, the RH bill, and everything? So, again, kung titingnan natin ngayon yung concept...
Pro-growth ka, population growth.
Depende. Titingnan natin yung konsepto eh. As long as masusustain mo yung... Kasi ito ang konsepto ng...
Without talking about the religious aspect.
Oh, sige, no.
Ano ka, tutol ka sa population growth o...
The point is this.
Grow. Multiply.
The point is this, okay, the problem of certain bills that would like to prevent population is hiding on the morality of population control. But in reality, it is more of eugenics, which means that you like to eliminate the weaker race in the society. When you go to eugenics, it's like more of a ethnic cleansing. wherein that these are the weaker race and then you eliminate them. The concept right now, ang sinasabi ng mga proponent ng population control natin, kaya daw nais nating kontrolin ang populasyon para kumonti na lang ang mga may hirap. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung mga may hirap, ang weaker race. Ang mahirap, ang mga weak na elemento sa ating lipunan.
So the weaker race is based on sheer financing.
Financing.
Economy.
Ginusto ba nilang maging mahirap? Walang oportunidad. Di ba? Na nakikita natin. So, it should be timely na dapat makita eh. The government should do their act on what? Poverty alleviation. Kumbaga, give them opportunities. Anong ginagawa ng gobyerno?
You're losing me. You're for or you're against population?
Alala.
Ikaw, you're for or against population?
I'm for population control, but not on the way of a concept of eugenics. That you like to eliminate the weaker race. Kumbaga, ang konteksto ngayon ng mga proponent is that kaya daw gustong i-control ang populasyon para mabawasan ang mga mahihirap.
Mali naman yan. Mali naman yan. But you're not necessarily for population explosion.
No, syempre.
Okay. Let's see. My comment to that would be, the COMELEC and our traditional politicians are at fault. Shame on the political dynasties that have caused this grievance. Of course, the culture of corruption, which is government, and the past, let's see, in the past 5 decades, 6 decades, and still counting. I believe that the number of the poor is where it is because of our leaders. I'm not trying to pick out Noy. No. I'm talking about since the birth of the Republic. They are the cause of where we are today and why the population has gone out of control. Anyway, he points out, I'll go on. Number 2, the political practices are still personal and transactional, which breeds corruption and consistent national budget deficits. I'm not sure if that last part still exists. But yes, number 2, the political practices are still personal and transactional and breeds corruption.
True. Why transactional? Because most politicians who run right now would like to, what? To protect their own interests and businesses. As you would look at in different provinces, most mayors and local government officials that would like to run are whom? They are what? Contractors. Even in Congress, one group of contractors established a party list just to be congressman. Kasi nung araw, tayo lang naglalabi sa congressman.
Di ba tatakbo ka?
Hindi ako kontratista.
So again, the corruption, transactional leaders, meaning the oligarchs who are deeply rooted and continue to get more stable. But the people who vote them and put them into power, it's the majority, it's the massa.
Yung nga naging problema because democracy can
So the massa deserves them.
Yes. Sabi nga ni Winston Churchill, the kind of government service you receive is the kind of government service you deserve.
Yeah.
You elected them.
Correct.
But the problem right now, democracy these days can be bought. Nabibili ng demokrasya through vote
So
buying.
if they're willing to sell them out to have their freedoms and their democracy and their economic, disposition, which is getting lower, then it's still their fault. Then it's the people's fault.
Yeah, let's blame the people. They deserve it. Yeah.
So they deserve it.
They deserve it.
So tama yung ginagawa ng mga oligarchs. Let's keep them in power.
Because of the concept, again, of the system, and the system, the information is stupefy the people. Yeah? Diba? Idiotize them.
Which is working. Number 3, the employment opportunities. Wait, did I say that? No, I didn't comment. Let me comment on that. Let's see. Correct. I agree with you as well. Nothing has changed, and we do not see changes in the horizon. In 2013, it will only be a compliment for the current administration as well as the past, with the masses who are ignorant and uninformed, who will vote for the usual traditional names, who will maintain the status quo.
Yeah.
Exactly the same points. Pareho tayong dalawa doon. Number 3, the employment opportunities are so marginal that we have more than 3,000 daily departures in the airports alone of young people who work overseas. Comment? OFW, obviously.
OFW. Kasi usually we have job mismatch in the Philippines.
But the OFWs today reign in some $20 billion. That's pretty good, isn't it? Yung nga lang, their families go to pot, everything goes a mess. Siyempre, when the head of the household or the mother of the household goes away to work, alam mo, ang problema with travel, after a while, naiiba na rin eh. You know, para kang sailor eh, in every port.
I have a study about it, about OFW, whose family are left in the Philippines, about relationships. Based on the survey that we conducted, ang lumabas doon is marami sa mga pamilya nasisira. Yung ibang mga anak napapariwara. Yung
Siyempre.
ibang mga magulang, yung mga kung babae, nagkakaroon ng relasyon sa iba. Yung iba naman nagkakaroon hindi naman lahat. Pero based on the study, based on the survey that we conducted, and based on
It's a very high percentage of disaster for family
Marami.
reunions, yes.
Just because they would like to survive economically, they sacrifice the family. That's the problem.
But if our labor force was so good, why do they have to even leave the country, you know?
Yeah. Because there's no opportunity.
Whose fault again?
Again, you go again to the system again.
Who? The system is who? Government or the masses, the people?
The government and the masses is a part of the system.
So the complement of both being together, the masses elect these people stay in power, they frustrate the opportunities of the people, the country gets poorer, but a small percentage get richer.
But the problem is this is the system, but it is only the will of the implementers of the system that you could make the economy grow. Ang problema ngayon, ang nangyari na, the rule of law, di ba? You go to the rule of law.
Meron ba?
Yung rule of law nga nawawala na
In the
di ba?
Philippines, meron rule of law? Wala na. Ngayon, may bago na nga linabas Justice Secretary. Justice Secretary, LOL. Akala ko una, laugh out loud. Yung pala, look out list. Bagong batas yun Hindi alam ng mga congressmen. I don't know. I don't think the congressmen know that there is now what you call executive legislation. Hindi lang yung judicial, executive.
You know, you mentioned about surveys. I use the social media sometimes to conduct social experimentations in terms of survey. Ang sabi, napakataas ang mga popularity rating ni President, taas ang popularity rating ni De Lima. Pinost ko lang yung picture, grabe, ang daming comment. Puro negative. So, ang tanong nga dito is, through the survey that we're having in this government, yung mga social weather station, even the Pulse Asia, ang point is it valid right now? Is the reality? Ang tanong nga natanong na ba kayo? Natanong na ba ako? Natanong ka na ba?
I've never been interviewed or surveyed. No, but considering the wide numbers, you know, the millions, you know, we're up to close to 100 million Filipinos. I still believe the president really is very popular, without the shadow of a doubt. Without question, I believe that he's really, really quite popular. I realize that. However, to be popular with the current issues that are breaking, I think would be different. And depending on who would be the thinking class and who would be the non-thinking class. Anyway, John, we're at the bottom of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's peculiar that we're having just a sit-down talk about, which is what, anyway, we do, and we do have guests that sit in as resource people. However, from time to time, we do take advantage of this, and I've said this in our past shows. We sit down and take advantage of the commentary. We may not share the ideas you have, and if I or we become offensive, well, we're not giving our apologies, but we'd like to just bring it forth, bring it to you, so that you too may have analytical thought and critical thinking of the issues that come about. Alam mo, maganda yung nag-iisip tayo, pinag-iisipan natin at dinidiscuss natin real issues. Hindi yung who is the next idol. Then again, maybe you would rather know who that is. Stay with us. If you wish, we'll be right back.
back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, issues. Are we frustrated about the issue? Harry and I talk about the concept of business, even employment. Now, when we look at issues this day again, people would like to talk about issues not really of national interest, but rather more of a showbiz interest. But in reality, we need to look at what is really an issue that has an impact to us. So issues such as that would really have an effect to our daily lives. Mga issue po na dapat makaapekto sa ating buhay. Ang problema po sa ating mga Pilipino ay nililibang tayo ng ilang mga malalaking istasyon dito para makalimutan natin anoong realidad ng ating buhay. Problema sa inyong kabuhayan, problema sa inyong bahay, problema sa inyong kabuhayan at inyong pag-unlad. You know, ang impact po ng nangyayari sa politika at ekonomiya ay may impact po sa bawat bahay dito sa ating mga kababayan, sa ating bayang Pilipinas. Kaya nung dinidiscuss namin ni Harry, would do really have an impact to each and every Filipino, specifically every household, the employment, even sino ba ang dapat managot Sino ba ang dapat, bakit tayo napoprostrate? Ang problema, we come up with opinions without even thinking and analyzing what are the real issues. Ang problema po, pag nakapunta ka sa mga ordinaryong usapan, ang dami pong mga komentarista na mga ordinaryong mga tao nag-i-issue, napakagaling ng ating Pangulo, napakagaling. Napakagaling ng ating mga senador, napakagaling. Pero ang tanong po, paano nyo nasabing magaling? Sabi ng istasyon, magaling Ang sabi sa dyaryo, magaling. Na hindi na inanalisa, mga kaibigan. So what we're doing right now is more of analyzing the issues. Analyzing what is being analyzed by those who analyze it. O ano, di ba, Harry?
Hindi, ganun yan Ganito yun. We are not telling you what to think. And we don't want to ram down ideas based on our personal opinion to you, but we would rather you generate your own opinions based on critical thought. Let me continue these issues that are being noted on behalf of the Philippines. There is a lack of a real strong manufacturing industry. We have import substitutes like assembly plants instead.
You know, I remember when you go to the manufacturing aspects, we could not really compete within industrialized country. Why? Yung balam, Hari, yung simpleng karayom lang ini-import pa natin. The steel industry is very important to us. Why? Because if we could manufacture a simple steel that could be manufactured as a chip, could be manufactured as a spare part, then we could be industrialized. Ang tanong ko nga, ano ba ang local product natin na tayo mismo ang buong nag-manufacture? Wala, we're only an assembly plant. Ganyan ang nangyayari. So, kaya ang nangyayari ngayon, how could we compete? We have no technology. Actually, we do have. I think kaya ng Pilipino kasi bakit mga Pilipino yung nandun sa ibang bansa In terms of the manufacture, we could only do manufacturing pertaining to what? Nata de coco. Di ba? Pero, pwede mo ba i-compete ang nata de coco sa Toyota ng Japan?
I don't know. Nata de coco is not only gelatinous, but it's translucent and weak. But my comments on that is, government voted to import during or in the 60s, 1960s, rather than invest and promote a fully comprehensive industry from raw material to finished products. You see, the reason they decided then to import, because we already started, John, in the 60s, we already had steel manufacturing. We were well on our way. But our leaders, our big names, the oligarchs that are today, whose children's children are now in government, are the ones who said, mag-import na lang tayo. Why? Mas malaki ang commission dun Yun ang mali dun But we suffer that. And that's exactly what's happened. Let's go number 5. There is an absence of the political will to prioritize our agriculture and fishery industries for food security. Comment.
You know, political will as a term is really strong. Why? Mahirap na yatang hanapin sa mga leader natin ang konsepto ng political will because we need to satisfy people so that by the next election, we could be re-elected also.
Is political will incarcerating the former president without rule of law? Is political will outside the boundaries of what you call executive legislation the end justifies the means? Is political will the use or maximizing perception, creating, generating, if not rationalizing, perceptions that are not necessarily or that are incorrect to fool the people in general?
When you would now equate political will, we will need to look at two terms, being unpopular and popular. Sometimes, if you like to have a political will, the tendency is for you to be unpopular. And being unpopular, people would hate you. But these are only few people, because many would really benefit from that political will. But the problem is that these few people, which are oligarchs, they control the entire information system of the country. That is why nagmumukhang marami ngayon ang nagagalit doon sa konsepto ng political will na yan. Pinalalabas, diktador, berdugo, o kaya walang nagagawa. Pero
Noy-noying. But is that not true, or is that just a creation again, perception?
Creation of what?
Perception that he's noy-noying, he's not doing it. The other day, it was last week, if I'm correct, if my memory serves right. Di ba Scarborough Panatag Shoal, di ba the Chinese came, and it's called bullying, di ba, based on, the word bullying based on international relationships. Nabubuli tayo ng China. I mean, this is a serious issue. This is one country getting into conflict with us. And they're a big country, we're small. They're stronger, we're weak. But in the very same first page, let's see, the president was out on a date to watch Sergio Mendes. Front page yan, breaking news. I bet more people wanted to read more about the date and to see if he was going out with this girl. What's more important, di ba?
The problem with noy-noying is this. So, the president, when he was running for election to be president, he stated so many strong words for the people. He mentioned that walang kurap, walang mahirap. Parang sa akin, uunlad ang buhay ninyo. Magkakaroon ng magandang ekonomiya. So lahat tayo umasa.
You know all his announcements today.
Lahat tayo umasa.
But all his economic achievements, if you listen to the president give any speech whatsoever, accordingly, I don't know if it's his perception, but he has proof. The country is improving, and our economics is terrifically improving, and foreign investment is coming in, supposed to be. Although the price of galunggong has gone up to over 200 pesos, everything's gone up, transportation, everything's gone up. And yet, we're supposed to be improving.
Yeah. That's the problem concept.
I'm not sure anymore which is which.
Yeah. Kasi when you go to economics, we need to look at it on the macro and the micro level. On the micro level, pag titignan mo yung mga ordinaryong mga mamamayan, hindi nila nakikita yan. Yung ganyang pag-unlad. Kasi these are numbers in economics. What we need to look at is to satisfy those people within the micro level. Kumbaga, ang ating statistics sa foreign debt payment ganito, gumaganda, ang interest rate ganito. Pag ako ba dito sa isang squatters area, naiintindihan ko ba yan? Hindi. So, ang konsepto ng pag-unlad dapat nagsasabay macro level and micro level. Dapat nakikita yan ng tao. Ang problema, ang nakakita lang yan, yung mga oligarko, mga negosyante. Yung mahirap, halong naghihirap, yung mayaman, lalong yung mayaman. Ganun na nangyayari.
Absence, it's amazing. Where was I? That was absence of political will. Yes, our leaders are shameful to prioritize agriculture and fisheries. Now, if only our leaders could understand that food security is of real priority. I've discussed this many times with many people, especially those in biodiversity and those that deal with environment. I think right now our major priority should be food security, ideally. But sinasabi ni Presidente na the agriculture sector, by next year, we should be sufficient with rice.
Dapat
2030.
sabihan niyo si Manny Villar. Because if he's going on horizontal development, yung mga bahay, is converting agricultural land to housing lands.
That's another point. That's another point. Then, the commentary continues. We will surely need food as we will break the 100 million population next year. And expectedly will be 200 million by 2015. My comment, guaranteed. And it continues. And in spite of our increased marine resources, due to the United Nations Convention of the Laws of the Seas. Wow, the laws of the seas. I didn't realize. Alam ko, there's always kung sinong powerful. That's the way it goes, diba? My comment there was, law and rule of law does not exist in the Philippines. And the best example is the Department of Justice. Ikaw, dyan sa laws of the seas and what's going on. Let's go straight to the current events. Here comes China. They're bullying us. You know, it's interesting. There was a picture that came out in the Inquirer, or was it the Star last week, about, it was no less than the, what's his name, Ruquito Ablan, former congressman, who actually had a shot there in 1967. Him standing on that rock.
Scarborough.
Oh, Scarborough, with the Philippine flag on it. But I guess the Chinese are debating, and their point of view is back in the 1800s. Sa kanila na yun, ano? I don't know. How do you, of course, we keep saying, only diplomatically, that's the strength that we will pursue. Eh, wala ka naman ibang choice eh. Kundi diplomatically eh.
You know, usually these are the
O
problems.
tawagin natin ng Amerikano, awayin natin ng China, dito sila magbakbakan. Sinong talo kundi Pilipino? O, di ba?
Kasi during that time, nung nandito pa yung US military bases, we neglected so much the Department of National Defense. Kasi ang sa ating pananaw, strong ang ating national defense. Nandiyan na yung, yung US military bases. Nung nawala ang US military bases, ang nangyari ngayon, hindi na prioritize ang ating DND. Di mo ba alam dun sa area na yung Scarborough Shoal and tawag ito sa Spratly Islands, yung mga illegal fishermen ng China, yung kanila mga fishing vessel ng mga mangingisda hindi mahabol ng Philippine Navy.
Yun ang problema.
Yan ang problema. So yung ating mga Navy ships, wala pa nga tayong aircraft carrier, these are the problems. So maybe it's about time for the government to focus on the modernization of the national defense.
Kasi, you know, the producers of that, the financiers should be the SMs. They should, instead of building more malls, let's build ships. Number 6, the monumental failure of our agrarian reform program. Your points there.
Failure pa ba? Pamahagi na sa Hacienda Luisita, di ba?
This is due to our culture and tradition of the compadre and the blind subservience of the landed and the moneyed gentries. Ako, my comments there. When it comes to agrarian reform, well, obviously the biggest offender is the president's family. And when it comes to the compadre blind subservience to the landed and moneyed gentries, well, we have, ladies and gentlemen, we have the oligarchs. From legislation to the executive. I'm not sure we can even put in the judiciary there. But the judiciary are those that protect the oligarchs to stay landed and to stay all-powerful. And now they have the help of the people to keep the status quo. Diba? Yeah. I guess you agree with me there. The gap between formal education and the real demands of industry in the 21st century for the qualified. Correct? Education. But we've started something new. We've got K+12.
Yeah. Usually, there's always a debate sa K+12 eh. Ikaw, agree ka ba sa K-12?
Well, the standard period of education is K+12 all over the world, except for 2 countries in Africa and us. Now, the moneyed class and the more fortunate people in this country have, previous to kindergarten, even pre-nursery or nursery before they even get into kindergarten. And the private schools go up to grade 7. The public stays at grade 6, and the age of entering the school is at age 6, with no real requirement prior to kindergarten. No wonder our graduates after high school are not necessarily ready. Bata pa. So, yes, I do agree with K+12, if anything.
Ako, I agree with K-12. You know why? Ang naging problema sa ating mga Pilipino, we look at diploma as a trophy. But the trophy should be equated to the production itself, which means the trophy should produce. Kung hindi lang siya palumuti, yung titulo hindi palamuti. Para halimbawa, kung ako, doktor ako, dapat makita yung pagiging doktor sa akin. Kung PhD ka, makita pagiging PhD sa'yo. Kung congressman ka, dapat makita pagiging congressman sa'yo. Kung graduate ka ng college, dapat makita ang pagiging professional mo. Lahat ng pamilyang Pilipino gusto magkaroon ng college graduate. When you go to the US, onti lang ang gumagraduate ng college. Pero pag-graduate mo ng high school, pwede ka na magtrabaho. Kumbaga, ang oportunidad kagad na tinitignan is that for them to survive. Ngayon ang nangyayari, pagka-graduate ng college ng mga ating mga estudyante, ay walang trabaho. I've been in the academy and experienced this. Maraming minsan nakakarating ng college na hindi pa ready mag-college. Why? Because some aspects within the molding system in their education and foundation medyo half-baked. Siguro in the K-12 system, the direction is them for them, the graduates of high school to be fully baked. So that when they become college graduates and professionals, talagang marunong na at talagang mapapakinabangan ng lipunan. Gawin mo, in the K-12 system, office clerk requirement, high school graduate. Sa ngayon,
College.
accounting clerk, CPA.
Tama.
Ganon,
My
di ba?
comments there, the gap between formal education. Well, to retain the status quo for the rich and the wealthy, and the oligarchs, of course, let's not leave them out. The strategy is do not improve education.
Why?
Para, why give them the opportunity? Keep them as your servants.
Yeah.
And I believe, and when it comes to the real demands of industry in the 21st century, for the qualified, where my comment there is, our leaders have no social consciousness, nor vision to improve the country. It's not only them, it's also the people, because they benefit from their sorry state. Kawawa naman.
Yun yung nga naging problem, Harry. When it goes to the education, since we are a capitalist country, education becomes a business, not a responsibility. Nagdamihan yung mga kapitalistang edukador na masyado nang inabuso yung sistema ng freedom of education for you to establish courses.
You know, it's interesting, in Brazil, which is now a fast-developing country, the fastest in Latin America or South America, however, their real GDP or climb to power or prosperity is because of their copper mines. Now, the social services of the current administration and the last one has been correct to a point that it has been uplifting the quality of life for the Brazilians. What's interesting, however, is now they are seeing a lot of rallies on the streets by no less the students who are demanding that higher and better education be given to them without a fee. In other words, public, huwag private. Because what's happening is the inequality, the level of the break in the system is getting wider now, where the rich are getting richer and the poor poorer, simply because the education afforded for one to the other are extremes. So unless they check that immediately, they're going to get into a problem. It's called the Philippines. The last one, absence of vision-minded concept among the leaderships and ordinary Juan de la Cruz, which leads to the absence of a sustained program of growth and development. You agree with that? There's a lack of vision, mission concept.
You know, the concept of the vision, mission concept would start during the election, specifically in the political parties. Every political party should have a directed political ideology that would really help the economy and the people per se. But the problem right now is that when a political party runs in an election, the political principle is what? Being set aside in lieu of the personal interests. When you go to the US and even in other countries, the candidate would be identified to a certain political party and principle. For example, when you go to America, Republicans are marked as what? They're so much statehood, conservative. When you go to the Democrats, these are more militaries.
Liberal.
Liberal, mga ganyan. Dito, pag sinabi mo bang political party, partido ng mga sang Pilipino, partido ng ganito.
Nawala na.
Nawala na. So nawala yung konsepto kasi dun pa lang, as a Filipino, I could brand myself as a Republican or either a Democrat. Dito, tayo ba bilang Pilipino, masasabi mo ako ba isa bang tumutugon sa masang ganito, sa partidong ganito? Wala na eh. We look at personalities right now. So, again, when you go to the vision aspects, again, it goes down again to the educational system. The foundation of every Filipino. Kahit na hindi dinidikta siguro ng political party, kung alam naman ng bawat Pilipino at pag-aaralan yung kandidato na ito'y may misyon at integridad para tulungan ang ating bayan, mas
May
maganda.
guideline.
May guidelines. Ang problema kasi sa election ganito, it's like a marketing concept Kailangan ibenta mo yung sarili mo para para maboto ka. 'Di ba dapat ang role ng isang botanteng Pilipino ay kilalanin ang kandidato at hindi yung kandidato ang magpakilala sa iyo. Remember, once a candidate market himself, sometimes there are deceptions in marketing, di ba? Parang sa isang fast food chain, pag nakita mo, pagkalaki-laki ng chicken, pag binigay sa'yo, pagkaliit-liit pala, di ba? Ganon din yung kandidato, kala mo pagkagaling-galing sa media, at sinabi nung kanyang mga pero pag nakita mo, nanalo na, wala na palang alam.
My comments, absence on a vision, mission, concept among the leadership, without a doubt. And as for the ordinary Juan de la Cruz, which leads to the absence of a sustained program of growth and development, this I feel is because poor Juan does not care as well and would rather have a windfall profit on the game shows that are airing. Sad. And it's capped with a short commentary. There are more, but the biggest stumbling block in the mindset of the population as a people, which we have to change to keep us all in cadence with a century of knowledge and communication technologies. That's his comment. My comment very quickly is, it is the people who are the problem. They do not seem to care enough. And the oligarchs will never let go. I agree that these crop of current oligarchs are going to stay the system, and we will see that with their success in 2013. So I guess we're at the top of the hour, John. We're going to have to close shop. So exit message.
You know, when we look at right now, isa lang po yung nawawala minsan sa ating pagiging Pilipino, yung konsepto ng nasyonalismo. Alam mong Pilipino ka, pero hindi mo pinaglalaban na ikaw yung Pilipino at hindi mo nagbibigay ng concern sa ating bayan. Pag ikaw Pilipino, dapat mahal mo ang iyong bayan. Alam mo ang dapat nangyayari sa ating bayan at concern ka sa nangyayari sa ating bayan. Kung ano man ang nangyayari sa ating mga paligid, bali-balita, you need to be involved. You need to be what? Some sort of analyzing things. Ang problema po minsan is that wala na akong pakialam Pwede naman ako pumila dito, maaari kong maging mayaman. Pero ang punto dito mga kaibigan ang bawat isang Pilipino na mag-iisip na ako na lamang ang iisipin ko at ilang milyon tayo, kanya-kanya na lang pala tayo. Wala na, hindi na tayo Pilipino, kanya-kanya nino na tayo dito. Hindi na Pilipino, mga kaibigan. Ang Pilipino po, sama-sama. Ang Pilipino po, dapat nag-uunawaan. Ang Pilipino po ay dapat nagsasama, konsepto ng bayanihan, tugunan, magtulungan para sa kaunlad ng bayan. Magandang araw sa inyo lahat.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as you can see, it's more fun in the Philippines. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat.
You are what you watch. You are what you watch.